There we go. Tina,
Hello.
it
Hi,
is,
everyone.
yeah, it's so my absolute pleasure to introduce you because I was thinking today, what can I say about Tina that I've not said before? And I'm going to say it anyway, even if I have said it before. You know that cliche about the silver lining in every cloud? Well, Tina, you are that for me, and I might even make myself cry here.
You might make me
Because
cry.
let's not start out that way then. Because, you are the single most beautiful thing that came out of a very not nice situation with the person I was working with, and I discovered and met you there. And then there was this one day where Virginia read to us stuff about, a certain type of personality, and we went, oh, and we were working with this person. And it was difficult beyond anything either of us had experienced before. But because of that experience, I now have you in my life, and I am immensely grateful. You have done covers for so many of the authors I work with, and they go, oh, that's what I wanted. That's what I've dreamed of. And they didn't dream of it in the way that you created it. You are a genius. So that is my introduction of Tina Clipston. She is a
That's
genius with cover design and with making your ideas and dreams come true on a cover in the way that I absolutely love, because I think cover design needs to be a mystery. It needs to be a mystery that the reader can solve as they're reading the book. And as they read the book, they can go, oh, that's what the cover is. And Tina knows how to do that. So thank you. Over to you, Tina.
that's really, really nice, Rusty. Thank you so much. I don't consider myself a genius, but I'm striving to get better and better every day. And you know what's great is I see a lot of people here that I've already met. So that's fantastic. And I've got some of your stuff actually we're going to talk about and share. So another thing I would like to say is feel free to interject anytime you want to say something. I'm going to be asking questions and I want it to be interactive. So if you want to talk, feel free. I'm not going to stop you. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, how's that? Can everyone see this? Now, this is a new presentation, so I'd love some feedback at the end of what you think works and what doesn't work. And we're going to have a little fun here. Um, Let me just get started. Okay. What we're going to cover today are why your book cover matters and the key tips for successful cover design, impact of color and fonts, how to choose your own visual style, and we're going to have some fun with looking at some really bad covers. And some of these covers I just left my butt off, so I'm sure you will too. Let's go here. Okay, before we dive in, how many of you have ever bought a book just because of its cover? Yes, I think many of us have. So that's a good way to know that the cover matters. Of course, judging a book by its cover, we all know why your book cover matters, because everyone judges a book by its cover. In this, I just have to move my video away from my screen so I can see my screen myself. So here's an example of a cover, a romance book. And you can see it really projects a lot of emotion. So what does this book cover tell you personally? If anyone wants to interject, let me know.
First of all, I didn't see the person behind until I took a second or a third look. I don't,
Yeah,
that's incredible.
He's trouble.
it's trouble, right? But it evokes some kind of emotion in you. It's like there's a lot going on in this cover, and it works. It's a good cover.
It's funny. I saw the person behind first. That's the
Uh-huh.
thing that struck me the most.
You know, that I
Yeah.
think that's one of the parts of where I justifiably call Tina a genius is because she's got layers on her covers that
Well, this
some
isn't
people will
actually
see.
my
Well,
cover.
I know
Just so
that,
you
but
know, there's some samples, and there are some of mine in here too. And you'll see this one's from ebook launch.
right, but I'm seeing that you can do this kind of thing with the
Oh yeah,
covers. Okay?
yeah.
And that you present things in a way that Caroline sees the person behind first. I saw the title, the words, and the picture of the rain first. And so I think that's part of a really good cover too, is that different people are going to see different things first. It's layered.
Right. Yes, and you're right. I do a lot of layers in my designs. And I do like to try to find that emotion. What's in the story that brings out the emotion? Let's put it on paper, right?
What came to
We're
mind for
going-
me was why would two people that are soaking wet sit like that uncomfortably and not be naked? That's it. No, I'm kidding.
I sent you the
But you know
cover
what,
for my
Tina,
book.
Well, maybe
also,
that's coming next.
right, maybe it's coming next. Tina, also what the covers do that you do and what a really good book cover does is it evokes emotion because we all as writers have heard the show don't tell, show don't tell, show don't tell. And I really think that telling has a good place, has an a purpose to it. Because when you tell well, with a few of the show details, so the visual people can get some of that, you were evoking emotion. And the emotion is what we really need to do in our books. And if we can evoke an emotion when people look at a cover, this one might do curiosity. Why are they not sitting there, naked?
Right, right. Yeah, you have to think of your cover as an advertisement,
Mm.
right? So you want to catch people's attention right away and get them to ask those questions. We have a little bit of a bad cover on the next one. Now we can look at the difference between a good cover and a bad cover.
Oh,
Yes, so I collected a few bad covers from Board Panda if you ever want to go searching for some bad covers and have a laugh.
Oh,
So what do we see is that right away you look at this, what do you think about this author?
Pulp. Just garbage.
For me, I just can't take this author seriously.
Yeah, exactly. Very amateurish, almost
Yeah,
cartoonish.
it could be a good story, but just by looking at that cover, it's like, it's kind of, I'm a little bit curious on the story, but it just looks like it's badly done.
like the Incredible Hulk. Yeah.
yeah.
She's not very artistic. She's not very artistic.
That's
Well, I
where it
love the
took my
fact
mind
that
first, Barbara, the Incredible Hulk. And then also I went, ugh, kissing the coronavirus. Like, what the heck is that kind of title? Tina, you would never let any of your people get away with that kind of
No,
title.
the title is very bad. I would assume she is kissing the doctor or somebody in the lab, but it's really bad.
I
We
like
don't
the
even know
fact
if
that
it's a she. It's a MJ Edwards, so we don't know.
Yeah.
But yes,
Bill
by
has a
the
question or
way,
comment. Bill has a comment.
oh yes, go ahead.
I love the fact that his hand around her back is human, not green. I think that's awesome. It's
Yeah, definitely some mistakes in there, huh?
Mhm.
So there we go. And all of these bad covers I'm going to show you, they are real. So that's another thing that's quite comical. Okay, key tips for success. There's a lot here. We don't have to read it all. But the first thing you need to know is know your genre. Research the covers in your genre to understand the trends and the reader's expectations. Because when they look at the cover, they want to know that genre right away. And if it's something they like, because everybody has their favorite genre and picks up those books. And if it captures them, if it's a romance, they want to know it's a romance right away. I think almost everyone here is doing memoirs. And what different genres do we have here in the group?
Mostly memoir and fiction, some mystery,
Yeah, yeah,
Poetry. Right.
poetry. Mhm.
yeah. So it's really important that you do some research on Google and find out what other covers look like in your genre.
Mhm. Yeah, so even though Bill's book is not typically self-help, it would still probably be good for him to look at self-help covers to see
Yes.
kind of is grabbing people there. Okay.
Yeah, and here's some 4 covers from Reedsy, and you can pretty much guess what genre they are just by looking at them. Who
Mm.
would like to take a stab at it?
Oh, go ahead, somebody, because I'm game to. Come on, Virginia, you like contests. What is the first the genre? Be fine.
Well, that one looks like food,
And health.
you know, like something to do with food. I haven't read the words. The second one looks like fantasy. Wooloo, I would think memoir without reading
Mhm.
anything, just looking at the cover. And everything is not peachy. That one could be something revealing, like revealing, um, something of public interest.
No.
Yeah,
One woman's
That's
pursuit of happiness in the
very
face of
close.
chronic illness.
So.
So
Yeah.
is that
Memoir.
That is a memoir.
uh,
Lulu says novel.
Wooloo is a novel. Yeah.
Wooloo is a novel, but it's a historical fiction.
Oh.
Can you kind of get that feeling of some kind of Chinese
Yeah.
ancient history in it? Of course, the fantasy Cast of Stones and the Be Fine is actually self-help, but
That's
it
what I
is about
saw. I saw
cooking. It
that.
has recipes, so it is cooking and it is recipes. But they're all very good covers, and you may not get it at the first second, but looking at them, you can tell what genre they are.
And they are lovely covers.
Yes. Okay. So here are some tips that we'll go over. Keep it simple. A cluttered design can be overwhelming. Aim for a clean, striking composition. I know a lot of the authors I work with, they want me to design their book with a lot of stuff on it. And sometimes I have to take their ideas and try to put the puzzle together so it's not too crazy. But keeping it simple is better. You want the eye, when you look at something, you want your eye to narrow in on an object right away on the cover and not be like looking all over it. Typography matters. Choose fonts that complement your book's theme. Avoid overly decorative fonts that hinder readability. This often happens with horror books, fantasy books. Sometimes they get a little too crazy with the artsy font and you can't even read what it says. It can also happen if it's too small or there's just too much going on and you can't see them. So pay attention to that. Use high quality images. This is something I encounter all the time. I get people sending me their personal photographs because they want to use them on the cover and they are not high resolution. They were taken with their cell phone and the lighting is bad and all these other things. So this is really important. If you're going to use an image, make sure it's high quality. Consider contrast and readability. And that's another thing when size it, make it small, make it big. Can you read it? Couple more things. Think about branding. Are you going to make a series? Do you want the look of your book to be consistent with maybe other books that you will be writing, your website, etc. Think about your branding. You as an author are the brand. So think about that before you start on your venture. And test your cover. Get feedback from potential readers or designers, etc.
Yeah, Valerie's done it here with our group. She showed us several different ideas, and then you hit on the one, and then oh, everybody went yes.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to see Valerie's too. Your book cover is your first impression of your work. So of course, everyone knows there's tons of books out there, and it keeps going. You want to stand out, so a strong cover is essential. And of course, target your audience with your cover. You can go ahead and look over that. Any questions?
I like what you're saying about that it has to be readily available even on Amazon thumbnails, because otherwise we might not catch any attention there at all if we don't have
That's
something
right.
that
Yeah.
works in a tiny little image. Yeah.
Yeah, and even if they can't see everything on the image when it's a thumbnail, that something better be striking enough to make them want to stop and click on it. Oh, and we have Barbara's cover here.
Barbara's.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Barbara told me what she wanted, and I had to create it. And that's what I do with most of my authors, is they give me details, exactly what they want, and I try to put it together for them. So some of the do's of book cover design for your genre, keep it readable, use high resolution images, use your fonts wisely, check your competition, consider your brand, and test it.
Barbara, who did you test it on? I mean, I know you showed it to me, but who did you test it on?
Many of my friends and kids and Paul and everybody loved it. Everybody.
Oh, everybody.
was-
Woo!
It
Everybody
is
So
was
here's some
beautiful.
mistakes here. We're going to look at some
All right, go ahead,
book
Tina.
cover mistakes. And here's a real book cover.
Oh, you're kidding me.
I did not expect you to say that.
No, you're
Real.
kidding me. That's a real book cover?
Yes, zombie
Oh.
raccoons and killer bunnies. So
Wow.
some of the mistakes that people make, as you can see in this book cover, is very overcomplicated vision here. He's got, so you can even look in the background, there's some other critters, and it's just too much.
Well, aside from being too much, does anyone else feel that the raccoon's eyes are really sad? Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things wrong with that.
It's disturbing.
Well,
It is
that
disturbing.
too. Yes. Oh my goodness.
So apparently this is a collection of stories. And it says 15 all new stories. So it's a collection, but I don't see the authors. I just see the editor here, which is a little odd too. So what is the genre? I would think
Horror?
it's probably horror.
Horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably horror.
Mhm.
Is it following any kind of trend? Definitely not.
Urban myth, urban legend, maybe?
I can't get past
too
the
much going
rabbit's
on.
tooth.
Yeah.
The rabbit's tooth. I know that tooth is weird.
You can't,
Oh.
the fonts aren't really clear.
No.
I mean, you
Even
can read
the
it, but it's
smaller.
not, especially that it's on a slant like that. It's like, it's a little, and you can tell that the images are low quality.
Yeah, especially the rabbit.
If you go to my website, there are more common book cover mistakes. You can just search that in the
So we get to
blog.
be traumatized by bad ones?
I told you we're gonna have some fun. Okay, here's another book I've done, another spring. This one has lots of colors in it, and it evokes the emotion of what's in this book right away. So
Yeah.
all colors and fonts have some meanings to them. And we're going to look at some of the colors, not all of them. So choose your colors that resonate with the book's theme. Use contrasting colors that, of course, match and readability. And consider the psychology of colors to evoke the desired emotions.
Okay, I don't know if that's a word. Integrated? Integrated? Psychotherapist?
That's what she calls herself. So, yes.
Okay. Integrated.
Yeah.
Would call it integration.
I love
Yeah.
all the colors.
The
Yeah.
colors are
It's
amazing,
good
aren't
colors.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
The Fibonacci sequence does it for me.
It's
So Bill, you keep
beautiful.
on
I
using
buy
that
it.
term, Fibonacci sequence. So I keep on reminding myself to look that up.
Spirals,
Spiral.
patterns.
It's a mathematical
Okay. Thank you.
spiral in nature.
Oh, psychology.
Think of a fiddlehead fern or
Okay.
a Romanesco cauliflower.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Psychology of colors. Red. Red does evoke some passion, urgency, energy, danger. Common use, thrillers, romance, activism, bold nonfiction. Effects, grabs attention, stimulates action. Blue. The emotion it evokes is trust, calm, professionalism. Common use in memoirs, business, self-help. It builds credibility, promotes calm reflection. Yellow, optimism, energy, happiness, common use, children's books, lifestyle, upbeat nonfiction, attracts the eye, adds warmth and friendliness. Now, does everyone agree with that when you see those colors?
Yes and no, I think they're generalizations. I think it's the combination of the images, the colors, the words that will create the overall thing. So you can't just go by this.
Oh yeah, it is a combination, of course, because you're going to have your images on there, you're going to have your font. So you're what I'm saying by the psychology of colors is don't just pick a color when you do your cover. Try to pick colors that have some meaning. So you're not just doing it because you like it, but you're doing it because you want to sell your book to the audience that will be have those emotions evoked when they see it.
Well, I have heard that lawyers who wear blue suits have more credibility or acceptance or maybe uh, effect in court, which is
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
So if
We
blue
want to
means
see a lawyer though in a yellow or red suit, but
no. So if blue elicits trust,
but
calm, and
most
professionalism,
I'm sorry, say that again.
if blue elicits trust, calm, and professionalism, and it builds credibility and provokes calm reflection, that's a good thing to take to court.
Oh, absolutely.
I just learned
Absolutely.
that or heard that blue is the favorite color of serial killers.
Really, maybe that's their way of getting people to attracted to them.
Mm-hmm.
One to take note.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, black evokes the emotion of power, mystery, sophistication. Common use is crime, luxury, literary fiction, high-end memoir. Effects create drama and elegance. White, clarity, simplicity, purity. It's a minimalist nonfiction, wellness, spiritual. I can't say it today. Go ahead,
Spirituality.
Christy. Spirituality. There you go. Its effects suggest space, peace, or openness. So which color are you most drawn to, and how does it align with your genre or the feeling of your book?
Where's
Welcome.
green? Do we add yellow? Do we add yellow and blue to get green?
Well,
Just
you
like
know,
on the
I
color
couldn't
wheel?
put them all in here in such a short time, but I would invite you to search any color you want to use, purple, whatever, and just to get an idea about what it means and how you can use it for your benefit. Here's a children's book that I've done recently,
Oh,
and you can see the fonts here are
that's
playful.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's geared to the audience. The little-
Playful font. So fonts that speak. Definitely the genre you're writing has a set of fonts that people usually use. Now, with that saying, it doesn't mean you have to stay in the box, but you do want people to recognize your cover for what it is. Usually when we do fantasy books, we see a lot of decorative fonts, and business nonfiction is usually very clean, very bold. Children's books, playful, as in this one. Memoirs can be flexible because it depends on what you're writing about and the seriousness or the emotion, etc. of your story,
Or
right?
even the content too, because Barbara's writing about letters, and so you use script,
Yes,
readable script.
yes, exactly, because it's a handwritten letters is what you want the image to be, right? So memoirs are flexible, but make sure that it reflects what you're writing about.
Mhm.
So the final tip, colors and fonts should work together, not compete. Your color palette and font choices should feel like they belong to the same world. If your colors are bold and energetic, choose fonts that match that energy. If your palette is soft and calming, use your fonts should feel gentle and clean. Always ask, do my colors and fonts support the same mood and message? Consistency builds trust. The goal is harmony, where nothing screams louder than the story itself. Okay. Picking a style that matches your brand. Okay, so now you know all that. Now, how are you going to make it match your brand, your style? Your style should reflect two things, your genre and your message. Start by asking, what do I want readers to feel when they see my book? Your brand is the emotional promise you're making, so your cover should visually reinforce that. Now, here's some tips on finding your style. So we've already discussed knowing your genre and definitely searching for other covers out there and looking at them and those trends. And understanding your own voice. What is your tone? Is it soft and nurturing, bold and motivational, dark and mysterious? Learn your voice. Think long-term. Are you going to do a series? Do you have a coaching business, etc.? Gather visual inspiration. Now, this one's really important, I think. Start putting together some ideas. Throw them together on a board, on a piece of paper, go to Canva, play with it. Find out what you want, where you want to start your vision. And we're going to get into that because a lot of people start with a specific idea and it turns into something else because they start to learn themselves as they're going, and they start to learn, okay, this is what I thought I was trying to say about myself, but this is what I really want to say about myself. And we'll get to that in, I think, the next slide or two. And of course, ask your readers. Oh, did I go the wrong way? Yeah. Oh, here we are. This is Vivi. And I know she's here somewhere. Valerie.
I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, she started, well, she had a few templates she did on Canva, and she came up with this lovely one. And it's quite nice. But it evolved as she started to realize what she wanted to say about herself. And what she ended up saying about herself is she's a hot, gorgeous woman in a red dress with some legs. So go to Canva, start playing. What do I want to say? And sometimes you need to uncover yourself in the process, right? Valerie, do you want to say something about the process of finding yourself in the cover?
Well, it's so interesting because the more you do this writing, the more you find out who you really are. And I might not look like it on the outside, but I am that girl in that red dress on the inside.
Yes. And it's beautiful, and it's going to intrigue people for so many ways, so many levels. The image itself, Scarlet Heart, and there's so many things out there like the Scarlet Letter, the Scarlet, O'Hara. There's just so many ways that a person can connect with this cover. And then once the covers grab the attention, then From Pangs of Hunger to The Wind of Wholeness, a memoir. I mean, that I think is going to intrigue more than just our people here who love and adore Valerie and have heard parts of her story.
Yeah.
Well, what I find interesting is that Scarlett was in her red dress, and that is a whole era before, like 100 years ago, that story was written. And here we are in modern times, and the same things are going on in this. And this, you have to be just as bold now as she did then.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And look how there's such a plain, beautiful, light yellow background with not much happening because the dress is happening. The dress itself is a huge happening with all of that flow of motion in the dress and the walking motion. There's a lot of movement in this, and it's a very seemingly simple but not cover.
I'll,
I love
like,
how I love how Tina put the H around the heart.
Yeah.
It's so cool. So cool.
yeah, that was my place too. That the heart with the breasts in the whole thing and the heart, the H underneath it, it just captures it. It's beautiful, just beautiful.
Yeah. Now, the original one, well, one of the original ones that Valerie was working on, it's very nice, but I didn't have one image to direct my vision at. I was looking at the girl on the left, the girl on the right, and I didn't have like a centered vision on it.
And there's no
The
emotion.
red
There's
is
no
the same,
emotion
you know.
kicking off the page.
Oh yeah, and the red. Remember the colors? The red
Yeah.
is
Emotion.
yeah.
The first one is artful. It's pretty big. Even the title doesn't really suit the flow of the motion and the movement and the way that the font is done in the title.
The
And
good thing though with Canva is it's free. You can go practice and get some ideas down on it. It works great for an ebook. Now it's a little bit more difficult if you want to do a spine and a back cover. That's maybe where you want to use something professional like InDesign. But it's really good to get some ideas.
I haven't found any way at all in Canva to do a spine. I leave that to you.
No.
Yeah.
No, and then you go, it's not just the spine. The spine's got to match your page numbers, right?
Yes, exactly.
So,
That's where I count on. I count on you.
and that might even change
Yeah.
over time.
Mhm.
And the way the title is arranged, No Shame in a Scarlet Heart, like in red, stands right out, and you might see Scarlet Heart first because of the way it's arranged. Like the other one, if you just read it, this one jumps out at you, and the subtlety of the TT, because most people know Scarlet doesn't have double T's, and but I mean, I'm not visual. I'd have to look at it a while to catch that, but I'm sure a lot of people do. I'm not everybody, but I love that the appeal of the title itself being set off with the picture, and that a memoir by Vivi Blair over the foot. I think that's amazing. Like her foot going forward, right into the memoir. There's subtle imagery here that takes the reader, even if they don't know it in the moment, that it takes them to a place.
I think there's something else too. I was just asking myself, okay, be honest, Rusty, be honest. Would you be attracted to this cover if you didn't know Valerie as Vivi and this was her book? And I'm positive I would say yes. And not maybe because of the dress or the long legs or the heart, but the shame part. because I think so many of us in our lives have been shamed at places in our life that in itself, that part of the title would grab me. The title would, that the cover would certainly would grab me, but that part for sure would intrigue me because I think that is a universal truth. And I need to make an apology to somebody later about something that just popped out of my mouth. And I thought, oh, no, that was possibly shaming. And I just like did not mean it that way. So, you know, you catch even doing that to somebody else. So I think shame is a really powerful word to put on a title in the way that it's done here in the whole title, the sentence, no shame in a scarlet heart. Well, wait a
Plus,
minute.
it's capitalizing on the famous shame research that's been done by Renee Brown.
Yep, exactly. Yep. So we're borrowing a whole audience there too. About, yeah.
I have a question on the memoir by Vivi Blair, or because Valerie's got some other work that she's coming out with as well. I don't know if it fits into the memoir context. If it was stated as a Vivi Blair memoir, does that change the context at all?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think it kind of maybe does, kind of maybe sort of, as my oldest sister says, because Vivi Blair memoir, I think hints at maybe a sequence or maybe that there's more from Vivi Blair, because a Vivi Blair memoir means that, hey, this woman might have other stuff out there. I think, was that what you were getting at, Bill? Because I think that's got a feel for it to say that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
isn't it, if you think about it, this is a memoir by Vivi. If it was Vivi Blair memoir, it could be written by someone else, no?
Yeah, possibly. Interesting to contemplate. We'll maybe do some thinking about that as a group, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Another thing I just wanted to say is that this is going to look really good as a thumbnail.
Yeah, that dress is going to pop.
Yep, for sure.
And
Absolutely.
everyone's gonna go, what is going on there? I want to know what that is. I want to put that dress on.
Yeah.
I do want to, Rusty, if you could make a note about what Bill said, because
Yes.
the next book is No Shame in a Foot Job.
Right.
So
That still makes Marianne laugh, doesn't it? I know I've heard it a few times and I laugh too.
Every time.
Every time. Valerie is a reflexologist and is specializing in feet, so it's like no shame in a foot job. Yeah, so we'll discuss that. One of our one of
that's
our
my
things
working
here.
title. I don't know if Tina is going to like that on a front cover.
Talk about it.
Anyways, let's move on.
Okay, let's see what's next here. Okay, pro tip. Your style is not just about looking good. It's about communicating clearly who you are and what your book delivers. And you can get that from the dress. It's going to deliver something. Here's some more bad covers that we can end the Zoom with and have a good laugh. This one here is shining light on constipation, and you can see the lighthouse. Now, as a doctor, you think he would have some better ideas.
That looks so amateurish. Just like the square text boxes, the rectangle of the lighthouse. And then
Right.
also, I don't know, like if my mind is the only one that dips down to the gutter, but the lighthouse is a phallic and just, yeah, it's terrible.
So many mistakes. You would not think a doctor would make those mistakes, or even his publisher or editor or anyone else that helped him with this book. There we
It's
go.
almost you think it could be a comedy at this point.
Yes, Sarah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's a few more. I don't know what's going on over here, but you can in the Man Sing the Wolf Child, there's some really low resolution photos in there. Just kind of
Oh,
cut
that's
out and jammed into a Photoshop. Not good.
that's creepy.
Yeah.
And
They're all
um
pretty creepy in a way, isn't it?
and also it's so nasty. I think it's racially discriminating.
It's a lot of bad things there.
Yeah.
This fella here, Phil Elmore, I don't know if that's him on the cover,
Mm.
but it does not make me want to buy the book.
All these
You know
covers
what I
make me
saw
want to
first
take a
before this CPAP is I saw crap.
Of your crap
exactly.
machine?
All these covers make me want to take a long hot shower.
A long cold
Owls,
shower, a long hot
owls
shower.
on my hat.
Oh, no.
Not a very good photo, although she was probably very proud of it. But you can see it's the lighting and everything is quite bad.
Yeah, she wouldn't have to worry about constipation from the owl, that's for sure.
No, owls poop through their beak, through their mouth.
I
Yeah,
was
they
thinking-
regurgitate what they
Oh.
can't digest.
And here's 3 more. How I went to Asia for a colonoscopy and stayed for love.
Oh, my God.
Oh no.
Yeah, it looks like there's a special sticker price on it for $1.
Yeah.
Everything you need to know about family violence. This is
Oh, God.
bad on so
Oh,
many levels.
it's
It's
terrible.
taking a very serious issue and making it
Yeah.
almost, I don't know,
No,
cringe.
I don't think I'd
Cringeworthy.
use any picture of any kind of human doll caricature of humans at all
Yeah,
in that because
terrible.
it would be, and that title
Titles
that the
are
font they
terrible.
use is actually harsh
The
too.
title reads like he's a clinician, but I don't see any credentials.
No, there
And it's
too.
not even centered on the page. Look at it's running off the top of the
Yeah.
page.
Yeah, there's a lot going. I don't know how these people publish these things without someone telling them.
But the
And of
pièce
course,
de
this last one
resistance.
here, we have my flawed lover dildo hands. Now, I just added that in there because I can't believe this is an actual book. He might not be able to make
Nasty.
make a sandwich, but he sure as hell can fill his needs. There you go.
Oh.
And lastly, I wanted to show you a really bad cover that was successful.
What?
Is it one we're
Oh,
gonna
come on,
recognize?
everybody knows
Oh,
who this guy is,
no.
right? This is Wayne Dyer's, one of his the first
Wow.
edition of this book. And at first glance, he looks like a creepy fella.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I want you all to know that no matter how bad your cover turns out, you can be a best-selling author. Yes, he sold over 6 million copies with that and you can even see like the font, how bad it is with the shadow, and there you go.
Yeah.
In one of his workshops, he talked about how embarrassed he was about this.
Really?
Oh yeah?
Yeah, but how old is that cover anyway? Because now
I
there's
think
so
that
much
was the
more.
first.
The first or second.
70s, 80s?
Yeah, it must be the second because it already got the #1 bestseller on it. But it's been revised several times.
I want to go back in time and give him a haircut.
Yeah. I think it's like cut off because the top of his head is bald.
Maybe.
So they kind of cut his head off there.
Oh. That's
Such a
sad.
lovely man, though.
Yeah, but if
lovely,
you
lovely
put
man.
your hand over the Wayne Dyer and you just seen that face,
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't you think it maybe a little bit of a psycho killer book or something?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
he needed to
Yeah.
have a different expression on his face if he's using his own face there because it does not
Yeah.
look.
He looks like a
appeal-
porn
it does
star.
look-
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, the mustache
The
and
low,
the
the low cut V shirt. Ugh.
yeah, the shirt even like man, the shirt is
Mustache.
not a fit for the
You know
title.
that shirt is polyester.
Yeah.
He's missing the
Probably.
chains.
Yeah, polka beads or something.
Yeah.
Well, it sure makes me feel really good about my cover. Thank you, Tina.
Yes, yes, and yes.
One thing that's not been covered by Tina's genius and expertise. I'm in the midst. I've had a book out for some time, and Tina is tweaking it up and tidying it up and making it look better. Inside, we had to figure out a way to establish quotes from inside the text and quotes that were outside the text but needed to be on the same page, and how to do that. And Tina came up with this amazing solution. And there is a way inside. It's a nonfiction, of course, and it is. I mean, it's very dry content, but we had to make it pop. And she's figured out about 4 different ways, not just with quotes, but with information on the left side page instead of the right side page, just doing things significantly different, and it's taking shape spectacularly well. I did not anticipate that it would go this way at all, because it's a fairly, as I said, dry content, but she's taken it right, speaking as if you're not in the room, she's taken it right over the top in terms of how it presents, and presents well.
Thank you, Bill. I believe I'm still waiting for Esther to send me
You are.
the, okay. Just in
I
case
don't
I
know.
missed it.
Yes, no, you didn't miss that. I don't know how close my cover is for you to show, but that's another thing. You took and flipped that on its head, and that the dark side of enlightenment is truly a piece of art. Like, it's so good.
I think it's on my website under the book. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I haven't. I didn't add it
What
here.
I
'Cause
really
have
like
a-
about what Bill said when he got your
and
cover
thank you, Bill.
is I really like the way that you said it, Bill, is don't you just love it when you get really, really hard decision to make about covers, as opposed to when you get 10 really bad ones and nothing's really grabbing you? But you get 2 really great covers and you have to make a decision. You said something along those lines, because she turned your idea into something magnificent, and then she presented her cover design, and you like went, okay, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. I think one of the most difficult things I have with clients is sometimes their ideas are really insane. There's like so much going
Say it
on.
like it is.
It's like, oh, and this, oh, well, actually, let's talk about Wanda,
Okay.
Yeah.
your cover.
Wanda.
I love it.
There was so many things that you asked me for with the clothing, this color, this piece, and I had to like put it all in there. And
I want to
you
see it. I
even
want to see
have
it. I
the
want to see it.
pattern.
Oh,
Let me
Valerie
see if
wants to see it. Do you have it handy?
I'm going to look for it right now. It's probably
Yeah.
on my website. So let's
But there are
let's
so many
go to my
layers
website.
to what Wanda wanted, and now it's all there, and I love it too. I wanted it too. I mean, I pushed Tina a little bit too on that.
Well,
It's
the
such
thing
a
is, she
mystery.
even said she wanted pieces of clothing, and the pieces of clothing had to have different patterns. And
Yes.
it's like, how am I going to do this? That was the first thing when I read the email, was how am I going to get these patterns? And she wanted it reflected in broken glass.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is actually the very first piece I ever wrote, or I've ever written, whichever is correct. And I've never had a cover for anything, and I don't know what's involved. And I just thought, well, the more information you give, the easier
Yeah.
it is for the person doing the creation. It wasn't that I expected you to incorporate everything, but I'm thrilled that you did.
Yeah.
And
here
because of
it
that,
is.
there.
A broken mirror with, you can see in the pieces of cloth, different patterns that were talked about in the story, and the different colors.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It is
Gorgeous.
I'm totally drawn in.
Yeah. The
Is that
cream
Christy?
lace for the wedding dress victim.
I like the face behind.
Is that
Yeah.
Christy's eye? Christy's face?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Well, Christie is from her novel.
not
This is
Christie.
from the novella, the
This is
Oh,
serial murder.
Elizabeth.
Yeah,
This is
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth's story.
okay.
Elizabeth. Yeah, the
So
first victim wore the blue shirt, the sky blue shirt. And then the next one was the girl from high school with the yellow dress. And the next one was the little old lady with the beautiful red embroidered scarf. And then the professional guy with the green tie, right, Wanda?
yeah,
Green tie. And then the wedding
and
couple.
then the wedding dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only problem with this was originally Rusty had suggested, the shards of mirror, and I like that. But it didn't occur to me until after you'd done the cover, and I went, there's nothing about a mirror in this story. So I had to go back and write it in because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. So
Right.
Here's
Ah,
the
there
key to
you
doing
go.
it backwards then is like Wanda had to make her story match the cover that
Match
she
the
loved, fell
cover.
in love with.
So Wanda, I'm sorry. What did Pretty Pieces refer to initially? The pieces of clothing?
pretty, yeah. I didn't have a title till long after it was done, and I thought, well, what can you call it? Well, of course, she kills all these people. She takes all this clothing, she cuts up the clothing, puts the clothing into the quilt. Right, so she
Oh,
has
right.
all these pretty pieces of
Right.
clothing that go into the quilt. Was
Yeah. And one of
I
the things
remember
you
that.
asked me about was you wanted flying glass.
yeah, yeah, exploding.
Exploding glass. So that's where the mirror came in because I needed something to be exploding.
I think the coolest thing about this title is the title grabs you. You have no idea, but it grabs you. And
Oh,
then you read the entire book, and then you come back to look at the pretty pieces at the book cover, and all of it. This sounds corny, but it falls into place.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, Bill, that's what I was talking about how a cover needs to be a mystery to the reader, and the
Yeah.
reader needs to go, what is this cover about? Because they're attracted to it, right? But
Yeah.
then as they read it, they start to get, oh, no, and they have that moment like, that's what the cover is.
Yeah. Very cool.
it is. It's just I just love it. Yeah, can't say enough good things about it. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. I love doing this. It's like solving solving a problem or a riddle or something. It's like here's the clues. Now put it together and
So even with some of the insane ideas, you still have fun and you come
yeah,
up with something fantastic.
And
yeah.
the font on this is perfect.
Mhm.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Just grabs you.
Yeah. It does because the font is so like usually the font isn't overlaid such a complex image, but the font really works because it's bolder, it's right in your face, and then it begs you to look underneath and you can still see underneath. Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was really fun to
Fantastic.
do.
Tina, this was a really great presentation. Absolutely fantastic.
Thank you. I was going to ask because I just put this presentation together. I didn't know how it would go with so many words in the slides, but
Yeah.
keeps me on track. It kept me on track, that's for sure.
I think your presentation this time, because last time you came, I didn't feel as connected, but this time I really did, and I think the slides are beautiful, and your personality really came through this time.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think I kind of just popped in last time without really being prepared. And there was a reason. I can't remember what it was. Was my power out or something the day before? Something happened. I
yes,
know
I
that.
think you're right. Yeah, you had
There
power
was a power
issues like
outage.
2 days before and stuff. But
And I
yeah,
had to come on without having, like, the electricity had just come on and I hadn't been able to prepare anything.
yeah. Well, any other final questions for Tina?
Hmm,
Well, with that then, thank you so much,
perfect.
Tina. I love the interactivity.
You're
I love how
welcome.
we got to like laugh and really I
Yeah.
thought at first going, bad covers, but that was so much fun looking at bad covers. Like,
Yeah,
it's
because
really fun.
you know what it does? It makes you go, okay, I'm not doing that.
For sure. So
Yeah.
everyone,
Right?
some jazz hands for Tina. Like, wow, thank you so
Thank
much.
you, everyone. It was
Uh,
so nice seeing you all.
Yeah, for
We'll
sure.
talk again soon.
We will.